This historic home once belonged to Margaret Paget, a great-great-niece of George Washington. She would bring her family here to spend the summers. But where did she travel from, and why did she choose this area? She was from New Orleans, Louisiana, and as we all know, during the summertime there, it can be extremely hot. So during the summertime months, she would move up north temporarily to escape this southern heat. If you're viewing this house from an aerial perspective, you'll notice that it's in an L shape. The reason behind this is because there are two sections to the house. There's the back portion and the front portion. The back portion is the original structure. It was built sometime between the 1780s to early 1800s. When she had purchased this in 1838, she had the front portion built and attached to the original structure. When she had the front section built, she had it built in a red brick Georgian style structure. Today, the house has an exact replica of the original front-facing cast iron balcony. She wanted her house to be the biggest and most extravagant house on the street, and the balcony and the extension of the house are examples of how she tried to achieve that goal. She wasn't the only person from New Orleans that came to this area to spend her summers. There was actually many other people from New Orleans that stayed in the same exact neighborhood for the same exact reasons. Many of the homes in this particular neighborhood were owned by wealthy Southerners who were also from New Orleans. Now, they did come up here to escape the summer heat, but when winters came around, they went right back to New Orleans to escape the winters that this area had. So where exactly did George Washington's great niece spend her summers? Well, it was none other than Louisville, Kentucky, a city that sits right on the Ohio River. Here's a historical map from 1913, and I've highlighted the street that Margaret Paget used to live on. Her house used to sit on 1562 Fulton Street, and this street at that time was known as Frenchman's Row due to how many people had lived there from New Orleans. And also at that time there was a lot of French-speaking people there, so they named it Frenchman's Row. Her street resided in a neighborhood known as The Point, and this neighborhood thrived in Louisville's early history. This photo was taken a couple years ago, and sadly these were the last two structures left from the once thriving neighborhood, The Point. There was a great flood back in 1937 that caused a lot of damage to this neighborhood, and unfortunately these are the last two structures left. A lot of credit has been given to the builder of Margaret Paget's house because the entire structure is still there. Margaret Paget's house is the red house on the right, and the structure on the left is something I want to go more in depth with in another video. I think the history behind this is really cool, and the city did something really neat with it as well. I was able to grab some aerial footage of Margaret Paget's house and the surrounding area. And just to give some context, this is a photo of the beginning of the video. The left side is Louisville, Kentucky, the right side is Indiana State, and the river in between is the Ohio River. I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on this. Do you view this with a little sadness because this was a once thriving neighborhood and now it no longer exists? Or do you view it with a little bit of curiosity because there's a piece of history left? I mean, the beginning of Louisville's history still stands today. It's a little piece, but it's still there. Please let me know. I'm really curious.